So we can chat this morning talking about International Day for Older Persons.
That's right. I'll be chatting this morning with Aretha Clark, who's the Program Coordinator of the Aging Unit, Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning. So what is the division planning for, in commemoration of the International Day for Older Persons?
Well, usually we would have International Day celebrated with either a forum, a workshop or so, but because of the COVID, the Intentional Day Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development is to have social media ads out to educate persons with rights for the elderly, their roles and their function, caregivers' functions and so forth.
Now, we're going to be speaking about elderly care and all these things as well. But firstly, how has the pandemic affected elderly care on the island?
Well, we haven't, but our caregivers, we really haven't had any challenges. The only challenge is that our caregivers are taking extra precautions when entering the homes of the clients, in that the elderly are more prone to COVID because they are high risk. So we haven't really had any serious cases of any COVID-related cases with our clients, and we are hand sanitizing, we're making sure our caregivers have their masks, their face masks, their goggles, and all those precautions are being taken.
And being that things have had to change so drastically and things being done online and via virtual means and platforms, what is being done this year to commemorate the day?
Well, online we will be having some short series in Tobago. We have no activities planned because of the COVID restrictions and all of that, the social distancing and all of that. We haven't had anything planned because of the COVID restrictions.
And what are some of the issues we can talk about facing the elderly in Tobago? And, how do we start addressing these issues? What recommendations would you make?
Well, not just Tobago, but throughout Trinidad and Tobago, we have the high rise of elder abuse currently in Tobago. And it is the responsibility of the families, the society to assist. So one recommendation would be legislation to protect the elderly, legislation to protect them from financial abuse, from harm and any sort of physical abuse. And such a legislation that will need the intervention of all the different NGOs that surrounds the elderly. Highly recommended recommendation that will help issues affecting.
What do you believe is, what do you believe is the reason that there's such a upsurge in elderly abuse from your experience and from your observations?
Family neglect. They say it takes a mother could raise 10 children, but yet though 10 children finds it difficult to assist one mother. So many of us have gone into our careers and our new family life, so we have neglected our own. So that has been one of the challenges that throughout many societies that we, especially in particular in Tobago, we are being faced with, because family no longer wants that responsibility of an Alzheimer's mommy or daddy who has cancer. Now, I'm not saying that they won't struggle with them, but that burden that individual think he or she will encounter, that a form of neglect, I would consider that to be.
And that in itself is abuse on so many levels. And and more there's a need for older individuals to help themselves much of the time. So how would you characterize healthy aging, especially for those who may have to take care of themselves and may need to be stronger than usual to really take care of themselves?
But healthy aging is first being free of any chronic disease, free of cancer, because we have seen persons who are 102, no sort of chronic illnesses. So that is one of the key things, being healthy. The autonomy to take part in your active daily living, for instance, bathing yourself, cleaning yourself, going to the grocery for yourself, doing things independently. Establishing a very good quality of life. Make sure you have a good social network. Even though we are home during the pandemic here, still have your social interaction via Zoom and, the new social media. And if someone has little or no disability, that is a good sign. So he or she could say, well, I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm really actively healthy aging. As well as if that individual has mild cognitive and functional impairments. That means they can still see, that means they can make decisions on their own. They are good with remembering, they're good at learning new things, because typically some persons, once they cross 60, 70, my brain too old for that. So he or she now will have that still healthy part of his brain that functions. He's able to concentrate better. He or she, is able to concentrate better. And for the functional part, he or she will have that strength. He or she will have that good range of motion, that ability to have good balance. So that is where we could say someone is actively showing signs of healthy aging.
And how do you start inculcating healthy aging?
Healthy aging is where groups come together, support groups for the elderly, for instance, staff, Alzheimer's Association. Healthy aging meaning they come together, they network, they communicate with each other, share their issues, share their concerns, and collaborate, and come together, the bigger body, and work and ensure that the elderly are well taken care of.
And how does the Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development, how are they prepared to support those who may not be so healthy, who may not have family around them to help them out?
There's where our caregivers come in. So once there's a case, a very urgent matter where the person in particularly lives alone, is blind, and in some instances bedridden, because we have cases where if the caregiver don't go at the home, the client don't survive. So what we have been doing, our caregivers, once the client lives alone, that caregiver goes to that home every day to ensure that client is taken care of.
And with that, I want to thank you so much, Aretha Clark, for joining us this morning, and we will keep in touch to find out, what the division is doing as pertains to International Day for Older Persons. But with that, we want to thank you again so much, and that was Aretha Clark, who is the program coordinator for the aging unit of the Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development.